Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat of Minnesota, CNN propagandist Don Lemon, and others just attempted to exploit the Good Friday automobile and knife attack at the Capitol as a way to push attacks on the right to keep and bear arms, which makes one wonder, do these propagandists understand the meaning of the term non sequitur? Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. You know, Merriam-Webster's online dictionary defines non sequitur as 1. An inference that does not follow from the premises, and 2. A statement such as a response that does not follow logically from or is not clearly related to anything previously said, both of which perfectly describe recent statements from the likes of Representative Ilhan Omar, the Democrat of Minnesota, and CNN propagandist Don Lemon. Mere moments after Noah Green, 25, allegedly rammed his car into security barriers near the Capitol on Good Friday, killing Officer William Evans and injuring another, whereupon police shot and killed Green as he emerged from his car brandishing a knife, many in the Twitter blue check contingent cynically assumed the attacker to be a white Christian nationalist. When that narrative collapsed and reports showed that Green was in fact a black man and a supporter of the Nation of Islam, Ms. Omar thought it prudent to stand on Officer Evans's grave and turn the vehicular homicide into a ghoulish, childish, so-called rationale for gun restrictions. Indeed, Omar saw fit to tweet, quote, "Heartbroken to learn another CP was killed while protecting the Capitol. My thoughts and prayers go out to the officer's family and the entire Capitol Police Force. The death toll would have been worse if the assailant had an AR-15 instead of a knife." What a touching, loving message. And so sincere. A real expression of support for the Capitol Police. Said message coming from the same woman who just 4 months ago aggressively pushed the defund the police agenda, tweeting to Barack Obama, who had said that snappy slogans such as defund the police lost people in elections.
I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you know you've lost a big audience the minute you say it.
Quote, "We lose people in the hands of police. It's not a slogan, but a policy demand. And centering the demand for equitable investments and budgets for communities across the country gets us progress and safety." Forget all about that. Omar's call to defund the police was so last year. Now she embraces the police. One need not stand on any side of the multifaceted, usually empty defund the police rhetoric to notice her hypocrisy. And one need not study her statements about the Good Friday Capitol attack to notice that rights-hating, gun-phobic Omar attempted to magically transform murder by auto into a call for more breaches of the Second Amendment and more gun rights restrictions. Her blue check non sequitur is very clear, and many Twitter users called out Omar for her twisted political opportunism. National Review Online and Federalist writer Drew Holden adroitly wrote, quote, "You couldn't wait until the sunset to find a way to shoehorn this tragedy into your preferred narrative?" Libertarian Twitter user Gold River said, quote, "Should we ban cars? Also, if my family member was murdered, I wouldn't want the very people she was protecting to politicize the murder hours after it happened," end quote. And Veruca Kosher Salt offered a scathing cartoon meme of a blue check Twitter user asking a magic 8-ball if she was stupid, which the ball confirms with a giant blue and white check mark. Of course, some say misery loves company, and so perhaps does political grandstanding. For CNN's cartoonish Don Lemon soon took to the air to insert the dreaded AR-15 narrative and imply that with guns, the scene would have been much worse.
Usually, Juliet, we're covering someone who has taken many lives, right, because they have access to semi-automatic weapons or what have you. The suspect didn't have an AR-15 or an AR-15 style weapon, anyone has access to a car or to a knife, right?
And both Lemon and Omar were beaten out of the grim gates by MSNBC and Peacock, that's NBC Online, host Mehdi Hassan, who tweeted this from Pandora's box of scaremongering non sequiturs. Quote, "Imagine if today's Capitol attacker had gotten out of his car not with a knife, but with an AR-15. Imagine the police death toll. Just imagine. Hashtag gun control," end quote. Ah, what a guy. This, like Omar's hypocritical caring for police swerve into gun control land, coming from a pop news pundit who, in June of 2020, lent his support to the defund the police call and literally recommended dismantling police forces. This coming from a man who also in June of 2020 recorded an entire podcast with Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors, a self-avowed radical Marxist revolutionary.
Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
To discuss, yeah, you got it, defunding police. Again, one need not take a side on the defund police rhetoric, which usually is an attempt to seize control of police and use them as one political faction wants to use them, not to actually eliminate tax-funded police. One need not take a side to smell the sewer rot of utter hypocrisy. One need not bother mentioning to any of these opportunists and philosophical grifters that the attacker was stopped by men with guns.
Police say the driver then hopped out of the car and lunged at the officers with a knife before being shot.
One need not mention to these narrative shifters that their unconstitutional so-called gun control measures actually are threats of gun violence against innocent people engaged in the peaceful act of possessing an object that is more often used for self-defense than for aggressive violence. Heck, one need not mention that the greater the presence of firearms in personal possession, the lower the incidence of violent crime. And one need not mention that so-called gun control statutes don't deter criminally minded people from acquiring arms. These political fantasists and tyrants don't care about reality, and they certainly don't care about the fact that, as all government acts of prohibition reveal, passing statutes to ban things does not suppress demand and won't stop people with criminal intent. It doesn't matter how much they debase themselves to twist a narrative. We know the truth, and we'll share the truth with as many people as will listen. Thank you for listening, everybody. Hey, remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Again, people are dropped off for some crazy reason. Check us out on Rumble. Subscribe over there. Find us at Parler. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and you can also go over to MRCTV.org anytime to find out what the whole team is doing. And if you get the opportunity, please go to MRC-Store. I often mention it because there's great material there if you'd like to support the Media Research Center and give a few gifts to some friends. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.